Hello everyone, welcome to our first online training for Krav Maga Foundations. The topic that I'd like to deal with today is dealing with surprise attacks that knock us down, get us to the ground, and how we deal with the situation starting there. There is a tendency when we are surprised to fall to the ground, whether it's because of the impact of the hit that we get, surprise, we get knocked out of balance and we just fall down to the ground, and we have to deal with an attacker who is coming at us, either trying to rob us, trying to hit us, trying to stab us. There are actually a couple of videos that I will share in the description of such attacks. It's very important to be able to deal with these kind of scenarios and basically get ourselves back to our feet and either be able to continue fighting from there or run away. We're going to start with a little bit of mobility, warm up, and then we're going to start integrating the concept of falling, getting up, with being able to strike once we've gotten up, and then at the end we're going to combine the whole thing into one sequence, one concept that will hopefully help us stay safe and be able to deal with situations like this. Okay, so we're going to start very simple with a couple of minutes of mobility just to warm ourselves up, and then we're going to start getting more into the topic. So we're going to start by just laying down, or sitting down, and from here I just want to lay down and start circling my feet. So that's the beginning. Switching directions. From here, sitting up, just post your feet, start moving your knees from side to side. Going into the Z position, or the Z sit, so I have one foot at my buttock and the other foot is here. I'm just going to start by switching sides. So the whole idea right now is just to warm up the hips. Okay, so going on our knees, we're going to warm up the shoulders a little bit. So arms to the side, and just rotate your arms a little bit. Right now I'm bringing one hand to the back of my head and the other one to the lower back, and just switch between them. All right, laying back down. Raise your hips, turn to your side, and straighten your legs. We're doing a shrimp move, and then go back to your original position. So hips up to your shoulder, straighten your legs, and go back. So we're doing this a couple of times, just to warm up and get the blood flowing. Excellent. Okay, so one last thing. We're going to sit up, cross our feet, hand is here, back is straight, and just switch your feet, switch sides, just a couple of times. All right. So we're going to go into our first exercise. I'm just going to put on the timer. And our first exercise is like this. From this position, the only thing we're going to do is we're going to turn a little bit. So left and right. And you can either do this with one foot on the ground and the other one here, or you can do it with both feet on the ground, both feet in the air. Where the main point right now is that we'd like to stay in a crunched position. That means my shoulder blades are not touching the ground, my tailbone as much as possible not touching the ground, and I'm just turning from side to side. And we're going to do this for 1 minute, starting now. So once again, keeping a crunched position, just turning left and right. We have one leg that's basically ready to kick or defend, and the other one is moving us from side to side. Hands are staying in front of me. I'm not putting my hands on the ground. And the idea here is to have the hands also ready to defend. There we go. Okay, so I forgot I had my glasses on. So for our next round, we're going to do basically the same thing, but every time we're going to sit up. So after about 180 degrees, I just want to sit up, just like before, legs crossed, feet crossed, hand is here in front of me as a defense. So 1 minute, every 180 degrees, sit up and go. Sit and get back down, turn in the other direction and sit. When you're sitting, make sure that your back hand is pointing backwards and straight, and the front hand is in front of your face, ready to defend. One, and then again. Sitting up. So the point is that we are preparing right now for getting up, which is probably one of the most difficult things you can do when you're being attacked. And we want to be able to do this effectively and quickly, without getting into too much trouble and without getting hurt on the way. So turn. Sit, one hand facing forward and the other one as a base. So from here, what I'd like to do is go immediately into our first technique, which is the tactical get up. And that basically means I am getting up while creating distance from my attacker so that I will have some time either to run or negotiate or prepare my attacks. So I'm going to start in this direction. So if I am here as a starting point, the first thing I'd like to do is sit up and prepare for getting up. So right now, let's just do it as a dry drill, meaning I don't have anyone against me who is working against me. So I'm just here, laying down. From here I want to sit up. I'm going to sit up through my shoulder and my elbow. I'm going to push myself up with that arm. And now I have a stable base. Arm is locked, fingers pointing back. This hand is here just in case I have to defend. My legs are crossed, and that's it for now. So on my mark, just sit up and go. Once again, Go. Once again, go. So make sure your arm is straight, your fingers are pointing backwards, and this hand is here ready to defend in case you need it. So from here, I'm going to raise my hips, and you have basically two choices. You can either step or jump. So if you want to step, take your bottom leg, in my case that's the right leg, take it back and get into your fighting position. Or if you want to jump, which I usually prefer because it's just quicker, you're going to lift your hips and just jump backwards into your fighting stance. So once again, we're doing this together. So on my mark, we're going to sit, lift our hips, and then either step or jump into the fighting stance. So sit, hips up, step or jump, fighting stance. Once again, sit, hips up, step or jump, and into the fighting stance. All right, so for our next round, we're going to combine the last two, meaning I'm on my back, turning, ready to kick. On my mark, sit, hips up, and going to your fighting stance. And we're going to be doing this for 2 minutes. Okay, let's begin. On your back, turning in a crunch position. Sit, hips up, and into your fighting stance. And once more, laying down, turn, sit, hips up, into your fighting stance. And as much as possible, try to work on both sides when you're getting up. So one time you have your right side back, and the other time you have your left side back. And we're turning and turning and turning, and up we go. Directly into your fighting stance. Once more, and turn. Continue to turn, and we're turning and up. One more time. Turn, and once again, and up. So right now when you're turning, you can definitely try and add some kicks as you go. We're kicking to keep our attacker away. Now sit into the fighting stance. And again, on your back, turning, keep that crunch in your stomach. And up we go. Yeah. It's important to make sure that when you're getting up, you're actually creating distance. You're going back from where you were before. And up. Into the fighting stance. All right, good. So, that was kind of the preparation for getting up, right? We were attacked. We found ourselves on the ground. And now we have to get back up. Again, not an easy situation. Only getting up, going down, getting up is a process in itself. And you really have to be able to work on this. So we're moving into the striking section. So we're going to start very, very simple. In the fighting stance, just some movement back and forth. So when we're here, I'm going to be in the fighting stance. If you're right-handed, usually we say the right leg should be back, front leg forward at roughly 45 degrees between them. Hands are here. So our first exercise is just movement. Just movement. The first thing above everything else, before we start kicking, punching, is just being able to move, but also keep our stability. Again, very important, if I got knocked down to the ground, I have someone charging at me, or trying to rob me or trying to hit me. Getting up and staying stable is key to being able to defend ourselves. If I'm always on the back foot, if I'm always out of balance, I can't do anything. Our brain wants, first of all, to stay stable, and then we can start working. So that's the point of why we're doing what we're about to do. And what we're about to do is simple. In the fighting stance, just moving forwards and backwards. We're going to do 3 steps forwards, 3 steps backwards. Stepping forward with the front leg first, stepping back with the back leg first. And we're doing this for 1 minute, and then we're going to start and play with it. So, here we go. Stepping forward and backwards. 3 steps every time. 3 steps forward, 3 steps backwards. Keeping ourselves stable. At the end of every step, we're back at the original fighting stance, meaning 45 degrees between your feet. Hands staying at the moment at eye level, and just making sure that we're stable, that we're not losing our balance. And just keep moving here. We're going to be doing this for about 1 minute. Just keep going. Make sure that your steps are not very big. They don't have to be enormous. About foot, meaning the size of your foot long. Okay, so next up, we're going to be doing the same thing, but we're moving side to side. Again, this is just to make sure that we're stable and exercise our movement in this position. So from this position, fighting stance, hands at eye level, we're going to be doing 3 steps to one side and then 3 steps to the other side. Okay, so let's begin. 3 steps to the left and 3 to the right. Small steps, don't have to be huge. Just make sure that you're stable. Just make sure that you are able to fire attacks when you need them, which will be the next round. Just going 1 and 2 and 3 in each direction. All right, excellent. So, as we said, we want to make sure that we're able to fire our attacks from this position as soon as possible. So, our next exercise for the next 60 seconds is going to be moving forwards and backwards, same idea. With every movement we make, we're firing a jab. So, front hand, straight punch. 1, 2, 3. And on the way back, same thing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's go. Jab, 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 and on the way back, same thing. Make sure that as your punch is landing, your foot is touching the ground. And that's true for moving forwards and for moving backwards. So moving forward, punch with each step, and backwards the same. All right, excellent. Same story, left and right. As I'm moving, I'm punching. 1 punch with each step. So here we go. In the fighting stance, let's just get ready for the beep. And here we go. Okay, so to the left and to the right. to the left, and to the right. Make sure that you're punching long punches. Straighten your arm almost 100%. Turn the hip, turn the shoulder. Make sure that your punches are long. The longer your punches, the longer your range, obviously. That means you can keep your space safer from further away. All right, excellent. So, our next round, we're going to be moving forwards, backwards again. 2 punches, straight, so jab and straight, jab and cross. So from here, I'm going to be 1 and 2. Make sure that when you're moving backwards, you're doing diagonal movement. So back leg, front hand, front leg, back hand. So that's backwards, forwards is the same side. So here we go. Jab and cross, jab and cross, jab and cross, and backwards, jab, cross, jab, cross, jab, cross, and continue. Forwards with 2 punches, backwards with 2 punches. Continue. So, forwards 2, backwards 2, forwards 2 punches each time, and backwards 2 punches each time. Forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards. All right, very good. So again, same story. We're keeping ourselves stable. We're firing shots as we're moving. Very, very important for our ability to defend ourselves. If we're staying put and only working, but our feet are planted, maybe it'll work, maybe not. If we're able to move while we're working, that's a big, big advantage. So for the next round, we're going to be moving left and right with our 2 punches. Let's go. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Again, make sure that you're punching long. Obviously, we all have our own sizes, but still very, very important to be able to maximize your range. Make sure that when you're punching, the hip is rotating, the shoulder is coming forward. Okay, very good. One last round in this series. And what we're doing right now has a few reasons why we're doing this. So number 1, obviously, we keep working on our footwork, coordinating punches and steps. But what I'd also like to do is to prepare your brain or get it working for the next round. So we're working on coordination, we're working on striking, we're working on footwork, and next round we will combine this with what we did before. So we are starting with the same idea. Forwards, backwards, left, right. So that's our sequence. We're doing 2 steps. Yeah, we're doing 2 steps forward, 2 back, 2 left, 2 right, all the time with 2 punches. So it's going to be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so coordinative work, footwork, striking. long punches, maximize your range, and we do this for 1 minute. Here we go. So forwards, 2 punches, backwards, 2 punches, and 2 steps. Left, right, forwards, backwards, left, right, forwards, backwards, left, right, and keep going. If you can increase your speed, please do so. Make sure that your back heel is always high so that we can activate the back chain better or faster. Okay, excellent. All right. So, this is what I was talking about, combining everything. So our next round right now is going to be as follows. We start with the same drill. Forwards, backwards, left, right. On my mark, you're going to be laying down on the ground, turning, kicking, and getting up as soon as you can. If you've already trained Krav Maga and you know how to do the break fold backwards, please do so. Otherwise, just lay down carefully, and on my mark, you're getting up and continuing the footwork drill immediately, all right? No waiting between, oh, where am I, or where are my feet, etc. So as an example, I'm going to be here. 1, 2, 1, 2, you hear the signal, you go down, you turn, kick a little bit, then you get up and immediately continue with the same drill. Right? So we're building one flow, or building the connection between getting up directly into a fighting stance, directly into attacks. Okay, so we're going to be doing this for 2 minutes. And here we go. So, starting at the fighting stance, just start 2 steps forward, 2 steps back, 2 to the left, 2 to the right. Bam, 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 bam. 1, 1, 1, 1. 2 forwards, 2 backwards, 2 left, 2 right. And get down. Start turning, kicking as you're turning, and get up immediately into your fighting stance, and go. Forwards, backwards, left and right, and down. Turn, kicking, turning, 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 and get up. And immediately into the same sequence. Down. Turn and kick. And get up. And immediately into the same sequence. And down. And turn. Kicking. Keep turning. Keep turning. Get up. And go. And time. All right. Good. Okay, so the next round is going to be similar But instead of falling backwards, I'm going to fall forwards. So the situation right now is you were attacked from behind, you're falling forwards. The second we're falling forwards, the second we touch the ground. Again, if you've trained the break fall forwards, by all means. In any case, as soon as we touch the ground, you roll to your back, and then it's the same sequence. So as an example, we're here and working. You hear the signal, you go down, roll, and from here, it's the same idea, turning, kicking, getting up, and continuing the same action. So we're going to be doing this again for 1 2-minute round. So get ready. And here we go. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 2 steps forward, and on your stomach. Turn. Start working. And get up. Immediately into the sequence. 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. I'm doing it backwards. 1, 2, 1, 2. 2 to the left, 2 to the right. And down on your stomach. Grow. Start turning and kicking. Get up into the sequence. And on your stomach, roll. Start turning and kicking. And get up into the sequence. On your stomach, roll, turn, kick, get up, and into the sequence. On your stomach, roll, start kicking, and get up. Excellent. All right. Very good. So let's take a quick break right now. First of all, so you can drink something if you'd like. But again, I'd like to explain the logic or the reasoning behind why we've picked, or I've picked, this topic. So just as a little bit of context. Obviously, knife attacks are very common, probably all over the world, or many places in any case. But for me personally, I come from Israel, though I don't live there right now, but obviously still very connected to the place. And about a year ago, there was a series of terror attacks, mainly knife attacks. And one of the most severe cases that happened there was a man who just ran around, stole a car, ran someone over, then got out and started stabbing people. And 2 of the people that he stabbed, those were kind of isolated incidents with a few minutes in between. So 2 of the cases were such that he surprised his victim, and the victim fell to the ground. So one of them was a woman who he attacked from behind, and she had a pretty late reaction. She was really shocked. And he managed to get in 2 or 3 stabs, when then she fell to the ground and tried to fight him off, but didn't really know what to do. And unfortunately, she died because of that. And the other one was a young man who was jogging at the time, and he just jumped at him. And the young man was able to fight him off, but he did also fall down during the struggle and had to kick him off, fight him off, and kind of did what we were doing right now. I don't know if instinctively or not. So that's the reasoning why I chose to do this, because these kinds of attacks are very surprising and they're shocking. And from what I can see, from my experience and from talking to people, the most difficult thing to do in that scenario is actually to kind of find your feet again and get moving again, get up and either fight standing or run away. Which is why I truly believe that this is one of the most important ways that we can prepare for such an attack. Obviously, we would like to prevent these attacks, and for that we need to be aware of what's happening around us. But we can prevent maybe 90, maybe 95% of the cases, but there's always a small chance that something might happen, even if we are aware, or we're not feeling well that day, or something is happening and we get surprised. So that's kind of the reason why I chose this topic for today. So we're going to finish today's training with a nice little finisher, 3-minute round. And the concept is very, very simple. As many times as you can during these 3 rounds, falling, getting back up, done. That's all we need to do. Right? So either you fall forwards or you fall backwards, get up using the tactical get up directly into your fighting stance, and that's it. So first of all, if you have any back issues, hip issues, knee issues, please do this slowly. Yes, it's supposed to be also tiring, it's supposed to be also a conditioning exercise, but if you have medical issues, please do this slowly. Other than that, if you'd like to increase it, so as you're getting up, you can throw a combination. So as an example, all right, I fall, I get up, and I throw some kind of combination of attacks. Otherwise, just falling and getting up as many times as you can in 3 minutes. Make sure that when you get up and you're stable. Good. So as I said, 1 round, 3 minutes. And here we go. Let's begin. So just falling, getting up, if you'd like, add a combo. And again, falling, getting up, add a combo. And go. So do this at your own pace. If you want to do it slower, do it slower. If you want to do it faster. Just make sure you're doing it right. One more minute. Okay. Good. So that was our finisher. Before we actually finish, first of all, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. And as I said, if you stick around till the end, we've got a little present for you. So if you go to KravMagaFoundations.com and sign up for our yearly membership, you can use code ADOPTER50, that's ADOPTER 50 to get a 50 US dollar discount on the yearly membership. And that will give you full access to our online courses, to our training, to our community, where we have also downloadable training plans for you to do at home, either alone or with a partner. And that's it. So thank you very much once again for joining us. Kida.